Welcome everybody to this Truth and Awakening call. This call is a space that I was guided and also meaning to provide for an exercise of putting out our truths with healthy dynamics. That's why I want to make this forward to the call with the Greek philosophy, the OG, the original truth truth searchers, truth seekers, and some distortions that were lost in the way from all the translations of them that are like most of the sacred books have been lost in translation, and then happened this kind of Tower of Babel effect that suddenly we wanted to build something all together, but if we are talking different languages and there are many distortions in between, we cannot collaborate to build anything. So that is preventing us from having or arriving heaven, because not being able to understand each other because of different dialects, in a sense. So there has been some mistranslations for what the word truth means. And what I appreciate a lot from the Greeks were that they had different levels or types of truth that maybe bypassing them is not healthy. So the beginning that I want to give as a consideration for our talks is these levels of truth that we can be sharing. So we are not so triggered or sensitive to the truth or that truth, you know, like this is the truth, you know, and everybody's talking the truth. But what we all have is an aletheia, that is translated as truth, but is my personal truth, the truth of my ego, and not in a bad sense. It's the coverage, the wrapping, the bubble that I have around that is required. Like it's a personal truth. It's an aletheia that is my truth. So everybody has a personal truth. What they see, what is surrounded, what they have seen by themselves and chose consciously or unconsciously that that's truth for them. So that from there comes like, okay, that's their truth. You know, that's true for them. And that already puts like a veil or like a possibility of wisdom of, okay, that's an individual truth. Then we have a truth that's called Emuna. Emuna is emana, the truth that is emanated. The emanated truth, that's the truth that you can see or the people around can see. And this kind of truth is like, okay, they can be saying something or believing in something, but they are emanating another thing. So there's like the first dissociation in between truths. They are emanating and you can see a truth in their life. Sometimes they don't apply or you don't see them embodying what they're saying. And there's one important thing that one of my mentors told me is like, whenever you're looking at someone or like some teacher or whatever person, look at their life. Look at this emanation, this emuna. What's the truth that they are emanating? Maybe it's not the words, maybe it's not their beliefs or ideology or whatever is happening, is look at their life. And with that, also I want to bring this language of the symbolic that I love as well. Is I think that when we are pointing out something, you know, when we are like, okay, that's in there, that's what I can see. Reminding that when we are pointing at something, there are three things pointing at us. So this saying that says, what Peter says about John says more about Peter than of John. So with this, I want to bring that there's a basis to know that whatever we think that things are or reality is, talks more about us than reality. We see reality as we are, not as reality is. That's a good reminder of what may be in between, being a veil for us not understanding, because we are lacking that self-awareness of from where I am observing the reality that is the densified truth that I accept. And then we have the third type of truth, if we may, that is the Veritas. You may have heard that in the lawyers and the judges, that they have, like in the Roman buildings, like in Veritas, like we are looking for the Veritas, or we represent Veritas, and it's like that's also translated as truth. But this Veritas is the truth that weaves us all. This is like, let's say, universal truth, that this Veritas is like going to be there all the time. Doesn't depend on our personal truths, doesn't depend on what we are emanating in a moment or not. It's like going to be there. It's like in perennial, and it doesn't go away. It's something that we will find all the time, and we can access when we know that there's a timeless truth, independently of our dramas or our whatever we're choosing. So with this, I want to bring that this higher truth, the true truth, does not need protection, does not to be protected. That's a thing that may be annoying for us when we like, that's not truth, and it's like, I want this. When you realize that the power of truth is eternal, it's like will sooner or later dissolve all illusions, will sooner or later crash whatever little battle we may be in. It can be crushed and dissolved. So we don't need to be that wall for the other, because our bubble may be hit too. So let's trust in truth, in the power of truth. So whenever we find ourselves protecting the truth and trying to prove the other wrong, we are in a lesser degree of truth, at least not tuned. And we can have this self-awareness of, okay, this is truth for me, and there's some plots that sometimes take over me and wants me to be in this role playing. So when we are aware of that, then we can be free. The truth will set us free. That's what they say. Yeah, in that same phrase was mistranslated this, and I have it in the chapter of my book. I have the chapter of the Conscious Man's book. I said, you will know the truth of your ego, the aletheia, and the truth you emanate will set you free. That was really the translation. You will know the aletheia, and the Emuna will set you free. So it's easier for us to emanate truth and invite for others truth when we are acting from our Emuna. So we have the self-awareness to see what we are emanating beyond what we believe we are saying, and so that's an invitation for us to be self-aware of these dynamics of levels of truth and freedom of our being. So otherwise we can get trapped inside the plot of ego, and they fortify there's like the fortification because of there are many biases that need to protect the mind, our mind. As you can see, we work in our channelers and consultants of consultants of records that are channeling. So we, in this practice, we need a lot of polishing and refinement of truth. That's why we work on these biases that fortify the aletheia, the truth of the ego, because sometimes when we don't have the capacity of opening up to new truth or to handle the truth, that's why we have a code of, okay, bring it on, I can handle the truth. Because it's like, I know this truth, like truth doesn't need protection, and truth will permeate it soon, permeate everything sooner or later. So we have this attitude towards the truth. And there are some biases, as the psychological biases, that can be there to try to confirm what we believe, trying to deny what is not convenient for us because we threaten our fragile reality. You know, like there are many of these things that I believe that when we know them, we have this self-awareness, we can be more resourceful and improve our tool set, our toolkit to handle the truth and open up and connect with this all-weaving truth that is the Veritas. And that's our service in this space. So let me see if I forgot something for guidelines. Are you enjoying so far? This is good. I think that was, I enjoyed as well saying it. That's so yes, I can handle the truth. This doesn't need protection. The truth just needs space. The truth just needs a space, doesn't need protection. So let's make space for truth. This beautiful tool I learned. Whenever we are in tune of the aletheia, that is going to be chit-chattering all over, like this is true, and I think that this is that, and people are giving an expression of how they are opinion, giving judgments of this is, like recently I'm learning intensively German, and they are teaching us the language through judgment. So that was like a reminder of this. I said, I will bring this to a call because they are putting a price of a furniture and they say, okay, is this Toyer or Billig, like expensive or cheap? And it's like, you have to be judging. And it's like, what's the, you know, like while we learn even the languages, we are already generating a subjectivity and judgment, just so subtly embedded. And I felt like a child new to a language, and imagine we learned everything like that. It's like, is it a nice day or is it a bad day? For example, we just been learned like to judge like that and to give opinions and how reality is for the other, and then we suddenly believe that's truth. So this is to empower our capacity of filtering and being aware that that may be truth for them. So it's like, yes, for you. You can always add internally, that's for you. Yes, that's, even there were people saying in the class, they say, no, that's expensive for you. Like that gives an idea of where they are standing, you know? So yeah, that may be beautiful for you. It's like, I think that's your aletheia. So whenever we have like these opinions, yes, no, it's like a judgment, we can always say, and you the ones who know me sometimes hear me like using this resource, that is the aha. Instead of saying yes or no, because people usually try to validate their reality or their truths, right? Yeah, I have the yes there. Usually people try to validate the truth, and I'm like, we can say It's like, we are not saying yes or no, so that disrupts that feeding, that machine of yes, no. Make sense? So that's like an invitation also for every person to look at yourself. It's like, it's not like suddenly I took it in or I didn't accept it. I rejected or I accepted. No, it's like, look at yourself. Look at what you're saying. And that self-awareness is a great gift that we can give and reflect back to any person that we are talking with. Because that's the power of truth, the power of us putting a mirror to them, and that's going to be much more powerful than whatever thing that we may say about them without fully having the space for them to say it. So is their word against their word, let's say. So it's like it's a strong contrast, because it's like, okay, this is me saying me, and it's like that's an insight inviting, because the truth cannot be pushed from outside. That's not sustainable. So when it comes created and originated from inside, can really stick, or like be owned. And then, just for bringing the last resource for when we are talking as listeners, because we are making space for other truths. That's what truth only needs, a space. So as listeners, and when we listen ourselves, could it be not? What I believe, okay, yes, if it's so good, could it be not? So we are not scared of like what we believe is not. So like we can, again, coming back to this, I can handle the truth, because I know that this may be a lesser truth or just a part of it, and then I can expand whenever I'm ready. But this puts us more ready. The attitude gets us more ready to get an expanded and more comprehensive truth. So yes, that's what I wanted to bring us as exercise while we are consciousness, making space for truth, and giving an opportunity of being upgraded or challenged in what we believe, but because otherwise we may be trapped in only our personal bubble or personal truth. Yes. That was all the things I wanted to give us framework for us to have a good conversation now when we share. Now, for the future calls, I will share this video, and right now I will pause and make a space. This practice that we'll have as well in the circles that I have heard learned healthy dynamics. There's this also intent of not proving myself okay, but saying, okay, what do I have to say? What do I have to offer here? Because when I am sharing a truth and others are giving me the space, their attention, their sacred attention, there's a code of the Andeans that's called Aini. There's a reciprocity. I have to be given something if they are giving me their hearing. So that sometimes we forget that, and then we feel like, oh no, I won't do anything this, and I will start closing because I have given too much attention. And it's like suddenly that reciprocity with our time, attention, energy starts breaking because we are not aware of that. So first, thank you for your attention and for listening to me in these minutes. And as an exercise, connecting with ourselves and making an awareness of what I have to say is for the highest service of this group, this moment. What I need to say is like a truth sometimes needs to be expressed, and it can be very healing. So like being truthful with ourselves. How much from 1 to 5 we will share in the cameras. Do I need to talk, or do I have a truth to be shared? How much I believe and I trust that I have to share a truth. So we also have like a trusting and a confidence of talking the truth, and like as well deserving the attention, because I really feel that, hey, I have something to say that can be of use and service for everyone. So that way we start generating a healthy reciprocity in the dynamic of the circle. This healthy dynamic that also learned in the men's circles, that when we are talking and we are aware of our truth, we are talking is in I believe. We own our truth, and sometimes when we are in the groups, we prevent talking of for all, talking as a we. When we are and we have to and we need, and we are talking as a we, already claiming the truth for the other, and then making a claim on the truth of the other. That would be like, I own it and I believe, and I believe that this is this way or that is that way. Otherwise, it happens that we can use the aha to bring the awareness of the other. And it's like, aha, that's so you believe that we all should do, or we all have to, or because when we are, I saw many of you nodding, because usually that is convincing and we are letting it in. Yes. Whatever the other is saying, we are like letting it in. You know, it's like very easy. We have like developed, we have been raised to concede or acquiesce, and like, yes, look what they're saying. The one who's speaking, we have to say yes, you know, like, yeah, it's like, and even you feel like right now, like saying like, yeah. So we have been like trained for that, to disrupt that, and kind of not unconsciously accept that we have to or we need to, because that pushes us needs and musts and shoulds. We can like strengthen ourselves. It's like, aha, so you believe that, whatever, like an example of, you believe that we all should unconditionally love. I don't know if you know, like I have not decided that. What's love anyway, and what's unconditional, and what are my conditions? You know, like there are many things that sometimes we don't think of, but we are accepting, and there's like they are not applicable, but we agree to. So this is a dynamic I wanted to bring up. So when we are talking, we are owning it as well. It's like, I believe, and this has happened to me, and the power of personal experience, as one of you were sharing, like, this has happened in my family, and this is my pain, and this is what happens to me. That's a stronger point, because we are using the aletheia, our personal truth, as a base, as a strong resource that is there sustaining ourselves. So we are not just thinking that it's a lesser truth, the aletheia, but it's an ally that supports what I am emanating, and also aligns with the truth that weaves us all. So we generate a coherence in between the levels of truth. Make sense? So this on this side, and another healthy dynamic that you can do it also to me, because that's to disrupt the thing of, oh, I take over the world. When I talk more than that's your take, like I already, maybe this talk I thought 35 minutes of the 60, and that should not happen, that because we are more. We all have the power of helping the other to round up, sum up. You can do this sign with the camera, round up, or what we do in the men's circle is mercy on us. And you can put the hands like this to balance, come to balance, and mercy. So when someone has like starts talking, or you know they are overreaching, we can any of us do like this and helps on wrapping up, so we all have this cue for helping the other and making space for us all. Thank you for attention again, and for all the future conversations that we will have, this will be useful as well. So with this, we initiate the circle of truth sharing. Thank you for everyone listening in this moment and in the future, and I invite you to join in future circles of truth and awakening to new realities.